doing from wherever you're catching us from. Luze Andrew Anderson is my name. Super, super excited, of course, to be here. And I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are catching us from. From wherever you are. I can say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Yeah, it depends where you are catching us from. Again, super, super excited to be here, just like how we always do it. Yeah, and today we're going to be having a topic. What we're going to be talking about. I wanted just for this is just for the boys, yeah, just for the boys. I just decided to bring her there to just be there for just a couple of minutes, yeah, as she's there, of course, in the gym, yeah. Luze Andrew Anderson, of course, is my name. And this is how we always do it. Today we've come in a little bit late. It is, of course, 10:53, yeah, night time here in Uganda. And today's topic, let me just take you through today's topic. For some reason, that is for the men, yeah. I put up that video just for the men, yeah. And of course, today I'm going to be giving you the reasons why, of course, guys decide to be single. This, of course, 2026. Most of the guys are decided to be single. Today I was on TikTok, and of course, there was a girl, and she was saying, them days, of course, when guys, vibed girls, yeah, they vibe, and then the girl is like, let me think about it. And she could give you like, let me think about it, and she could think about it like for 3 months, 4 months, yeah. And she's just thinking about it, yeah. And nowadays it is different. She was a little bit complaining, and she was like, why is it that nowadays guys are not patient? By the time he tells you, he wants you guys to be dating, and the girl says, let me think about it. Like in a week, when a girl comes back, the guy has already moved on. And now the girls were asking themselves, why is it like that? What really changed? I'm going to be giving you the reasons, and the reasons are going to be a couple of them. They are going to be very many. And today's live is mainly for the girls, and you'll get to know why. Of course, girls nowadays have decided to go single, and they just don't want to date. Of course, there are very many reasons. Yeah, and if I can put you up, of course, this is what we're going to be talking about. Just like how you're seeing it there. Why men love being single in 2026. For the guys who are here yesterday, yeah, of course, we go to talk about different things, yeah. We talked about different things, and yesterday, the topic was kind of long. And today, still again, we are having a continuation. But this time round, it is different. So, I think I woke up like at around what? At around 11? Yeah, I think I woke up like at around 11 in the morning. Yeah, in the morning. And as after I did some work, of course. We had to clean the house very early. Then, of course, I had to do what? I had to do a couple of things. Yeah, I did a couple of things. I washed my bike again. It was so dirty. I did a couple of things today. And of course, we had to cook. The meal was nice. So, today's topic, Tyler has failed to sleep, so he's still around here. But I told him to turn off his laptop. Yeah, okay. I just told him to remove the sound. So now there are reasons. There are very many reasons why men in 2026 have decided, to be single, and they don't want to date. They just don't want to be in any kind of a serious relationship. They could rather have friends that have sleepovers, or maybe on weekends, but they just don't want to settle. There are a couple of reasons, yeah, and I'm going to be writing some of them down. Today I didn't take even notes. I just decided to just come and we talk about this. So there are a couple of reasons. Reason number one, of course, that is the expenditure. Expenditure. Most of the times, when guys start dating, what of course women expect from guys is to help them with their bills. Of course, girls have a lot of needs, which is okay. Of course, guys have to provide. That is how it's supposed to be. But of course, in 2026, things are different because of technology. Now, because of technology, these girls have a lot of expectations because of the people they watch maybe on social media and how it is going down on social media. So girls now think, in case you are going to be dating her, there is you're supposed to take care of their needs. Yeah, you're supposed to take care of their needs. So the expenditure, some of these, I'm giving you reasons. I'll keep bringing in this picture just a little bit. This is what we use as our thumbnail. I'm going to keep bringing it up so that for the people who have just joined, you get to see what we are talking about. We are talking about why men love being single in 2026. I've told you reason number one, it is the expenditure. Of course, now them days, yeah, I think like in the early 2000s, yes, women loved money, but at the rate at which they loved it was really different because now they expect guys to give them like going out, yeah, going out, then buying them presents, again, the hair became a little bit expensive. Now, why is the expenditure? Why is it that the guys are so scared of the expenditure? Number one, of course, because of social media. So now when these girls see their fellows, yeah, being bought good stuff and going on vacations, so they also think their boyfriends are also supposed to be buying them those things and they're supposed to be taking them for vacations because they are watching these things on social media. When they see other girls being gifted cars and then being gifted these beautiful flowers, and now flowers also change because of social media. Now you have to bring what you call money flowers, yeah, because now flowers, like for the people more so in Africa, instead of the western or all the white people love flowers more so if they are natural, but now here girls looked at it and they're like, it doesn't make sense, more so when it comes to black girls, and I think black girls all over the world, yeah. So now they are making money flowers, yeah. So because this has been on social media, so now these girls also expect their boyfriends to be giving them those money flowers. So you have to put money, like, so then it is like a flower, and then you're supposed to give them. So now we've talked about the vacations, we've talked about those flowers. Now birthdays, they like gifts. So when they notice that this man doesn't give out money, so what the girls do immediately when you start dating her, of course she will tell you her birthday, when her birthday is. And most of the times these girls are having birthdays, like 4 birthdays in a year. But of course their age doesn't increase, it keeps decreasing. But they have like 4 birthdays in a year. So immediately when you start dating, or when she says yes, I can date you, of course number one thing she'll tell you, my birthday is next month on the 15th. She makes it not very far. Of course, if you've started dating in January, she cannot tell you that her birthday is in December. That is impossible. She will tell you her birthday is in case you started dating January, then be sure her birthday is supposed to be February. And remember, because these girls have a lot of needs, so they will not date one person. So it will be a couple of them. So that means one girl can have like 6 birthdays in a year. You get the point. So now I'm giving you reasons why, of course, boys or guys love to be single the year 2026. Number one, I've told you their expenditure. They are not willing to spend so much. Remember, they also have their dreams. You get my point. So I'm giving the girls reasons. And of course, when you listen and you follow as I'm taking you through, then you get to know how to tap a guy and get him and he becomes yours. Maybe it could even end up in marriage. So expenditure, yeah, because of social media, these girls want you to give them the things that they watch on social media, what other guys do for these girls, and most of these things are not even real, and they don't know that this thing is real. Have you seen girls get flowers but you've never seen who is giving them those flowers? Or they go for vacations, they're always on a plane, but you never see this girl with a guy, more so when they post. Have you noticed that? So now, number one, the biggest thing is expenditure. The guys are not willing to spend that much. So that's why I told you when I was going through my social media very early in the morning, and then I saw this girl, and she was saying, "Why is it nowadays guys are not patient? Them days, the girls always use this. Let me think about it." And of course, a guy could even wait. Some of them could even wait for a year, and they are waiting for that answer because the girl is still thinking about it. Right now, you tell a guy, a guy tells a girl, I want to date you, blah, 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 and all that. And then this girl tells this guy in 2026, let me think about it. By the time, because now this guy has asked on Monday, by Friday, if the reply is not yet there, the guy is gone. So they were saying, why is it that these guys are not patient? Now, this is what happens. When you say, let me think about it, even the guy goes back to think about it. And when they think about it carefully, then the guy gets to think about it. And he's like, okay, so now, if I'm going to date this guy, I would have to spend. Of course, you have to be going out. And remember, their hair is also expensive. They have what they call human hair. They have Brazilian hair. They have all those kind of hairs. And now these hairs are becoming expensive. These weaves, yeah. There is a wig, a weave, Brazilian wig. I don't know. There are so many, and some of them go up to 1.5 million shillings. Oh my goodness, that is too much. That is some of people's salary, and some of the people don't even earn that. But guess what? The girl is going to just put it on her head. So now, remember, the guy has gone to also think about it. So when he thinks about it carefully, he's like, no, I think I cannot afford. So by the time this girl comes back after 2 days, the guy has also thought about it, because maybe he was acting out of impulse the first time when he asked for dating. And now the girl said, let me go think about it. But at the same time, also the guy was thinking about it. So now, because he thought about it, now he's like, nah, I think something was wrong with me. Like when someone is drunk, yeah, when someone is drunk, they can say all sorts of beautiful, nice things. So maybe the time, he saw her, he was a little bit tipsy. Now he asked. And now that he's sober and he sobers up, he's like, I think I made a mistake. So by the time the girl comes back or starts bringing those signs, then the guy already left. That has also happened to me. I remember, I think, when was it? I remember, I think I met up a girl like a couple of, this year. It was this year. Yeah. So I was like, I was asking her out. Yeah. I was asking her out, and I'm like, yeah, 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 can we go out? And then she's like, I'm still, I'm always at work. So let me think about it. After like 3 days, and she was not giving me her reply, I was also thinking about it. But I was like, now what is this? Am I getting myself into? I thought about it very carefully. And by the time, the girls, they neither say yes or say no. But now what happens? They start using actions. So now she texted, hello, how are you doing? I hope you had a nice day. But I was already out of the mood. I was already out of the mood. Now I no longer want, because by the time I asked, maybe something had possessed me. Maybe something had possessed me, and I was interested by that time. So now, since time has passed, as she's thinking about it, then me too, I was thinking about it. So I thought about it, and I'm like, the expenditure, my mental health. That is the next one. My mental health. So now, the reason why really guys want to be single, yeah, in case you've just joined us, I will keep reminding you, because now they want to have their mental health, yeah, clean. Yeah, they want to have it clean. Because now when these girls come, they come with a lot of chaos, yeah. So now a guy sits down, and then he's like, I'm supposed to be calling her, then she will be asking me, where were you? Why have you come in late? I called your number, and then you are not on. Why is it that at 7 when I call? A guy thinks about it and he's like, no, I don't feel like I want that kind of life. So guess what happens? The guy will be like, I would rather be single 2026 than dating any girl. You get the point. You get the point. So now the guys decide to be single the year 2026. And now here comes the biggest, which is independency. Guys want to be independent. They want to do what they want to do whenever they want to do it. You get? So now when there is a girl in a picture, oh my goodness, things now change. You used to go watch ball with the boys, and now you can no longer go, watch ball. And now you think about it carefully, you're going to lose your freedom. Every guy wants their freedom. That's why, what most of the girls don't know, most of these married men, even given the fact that they have houses where they have their families, what the wise men have decided to do the year 2026, as they build a house for their family, now they are building another house. Just in case, at home things are not running on well, what they do is they will go into their other house. That is the topic that we are talking about. Why? Of course, men love being single. Of course, the year 2026, that's what we are going through. We've gone 2 points so far. We are on the third one. The independency is lost. So now the guy thinks about it carefully and he's like, okay, I'm going to lose all this. Having my freedom to do what I want whenever I want to do it. Now I'm going to be answerable to someone who is neither your mother or your father or your elder brother or your elder sister, but now you're going to be answerable to a human being that just came in your life. Just 1 week of dating, and then they're asking you where you're coming from, who is it that you were talking to. Oh my goodness. So the guys think about it carefully, and then they're like, I think I would rather be single than being in a relationship. And again, some of the girls really play hard to get. Now, girls nowadays have known that they're precious. Them days, guys used to love girls so much. Nowadays, things have changed. Guys don't give a fuck. They don't just care. Why? Because they look at the advantages and disadvantages of dating, being in a relationship, and they try to weigh. And a guy notices that having a girl now, like some of us who don't know even how some of the guys have stayed single because they don't have time to vibe, yeah, and they are thinking, because now the girls are playing hard to get, you have to take her on over 10 dates. 10 dates, imagine 10 dates. And how much is that? Of course, if the guy is driving, or maybe he's not driving, so sea transportation. Even if he's driving, think of the fuel. With the fuel prices really hiking up, so now he thinks of the fuel, that is transportation, same thing. Then the expenditure when they go out, you have to buy these expensive, the meals you're supposed to eat. So a guy makes calculation, and because the girl is also playing hard to get, they think about it. And we are talking about a guy who has dreams, yeah, who works, wakes up early in the morning, go to work, whether he works at home or works, how is it called? Is it a 9 to 6? Yeah, maybe a 9 to 6. And then this girl is playing hard to get, and now he's supposed to go through all these days for her to say yes. So some of the guys think about it, and then they're like, nah, I don't think it will work. I don't think it works. But remember, point number one was the expenditure. Really, this too much expense. So the guys think about it, and then they're like, 2026 guys are deciding not to. By the way, not only here in Africa or Uganda, but this is worldwide. Last time I told you there are some countries where they even pay people. They give them incentives even when they give birth. So now, guys have all these reasons that I'm trying to bring to you why they are trying to stay single. Okay, now we go to another point. Another point is that girls have a lot of, how should I phrase that? They have a lot of, how should I call it? I want to term it in a polite way, and I'm not so hard. They come with a lot of chaos. Yeah, let's take it like that, chaos, yeah? They like arguing, stroke, arguing. They are always complaining. Do you know, even if you go on any job, our bosses, they don't like people who complain. These girls will complain, they will be arguing, and I don't know. I was told that some girls, they don't feel safe if they are in the kind of relationship where they don't have fights. Again, stroke, fights. People like me, yeah, and very many, most of the men like what we call peace of mind. Peace of mind. They don't want chaos. They don't want fight. They don't want arguments. They don't want people who complain. So now a guy sits down. I'm talking about now the kind of guys I'm talking about. Those are the guys who are busy and maybe can provide for a lady. By the way, those are the kind of guys I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the guys who've got a lot of time. I'm talking about the guys who have dreams, who are chasing something. I'm talking about guys who have careers. So if a guy has a career, if he has dreams, and then he thinks about it carefully, he thinks about it carefully, and this girl is going to come with a lot of chaos, complaints, arguing, and fights. All that is one thing. So now they think about it. Most so if a guy is corporate, I told you those are some of the guys who can even provide. Yeah, the guys who have dreams. So they will sit down and think about it carefully, and they're like, should I really be in a relationship? Should I really be in a relationship? So 2026, they think about it, and then they're like, no, I think let me chase my dreams rather than being in a relationship. And if you think about it carefully, it makes a lot of sense. But now, for the guys who don't have ambitions in life, guys who don't have dreams in life, they will chase. That's why I told you, a guy who can provide for you, a guy who will give a girl a future, a guy who has clear dreams, yeah, such kind of a guy will not date. Number one, because of the expenditure involved. He thinks of the vacation that you really want, which is going to take over 10 millions, and he's like, that is not adding up because that money could do something different. Number two, he would like his mental health to be fine because he has to work. So just in case there is someone who is coming with chaos, argument, chaos, and fights, he's like, no, let me protect my peace. Let me protect my, together with the independence that I told you about. So I'm taking you step by step. So now, the other thing is time. Time. Most of these girls, when they're in a relationship, some of the things that they always ask for is, I want time. Girls want time, and they want something else called care. Up to now, I'm still making research to know what really care is when it comes to girls. Because I think the girls' care is when you give them gifts, when you take them to vacations, when you give them surprises. Some of these girls even tell you, surprise me, make me surprises. Surprises, that is expenditure still again. So now guys are having all these reasons, yeah, and they are deciding to be single. So now, as a lady, what would you do to keep a man? What would you do to keep a man? Very simple. This is what you're supposed to do. Now, what you're supposed to do is to change everything. I talked about expenditure. Just don't ask for money. There and there. Do you know, like the girls I told you about, and they were supposed to be thinking about it. So one of them who had thought about it. I told you they neither say yes or no, but they start showing actions. Yeah. But because now also the guy was thinking about it, so they back up. They leave. So now what happened is when she called the next day, I know after like a week, when she called, because now I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't texting. I wasn't WhatsApping. I wasn't doing anything. I just backed out. Straight out. Because people are busy doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. So now when she called, she was like, I'm out of airtime. Even my data is getting out. Oh my goodness. First call, no data, no data, no airtime. That is trouble. That means this girl cannot even afford herself. That means as the guy will think about it, and then you'll be like, oh my goodness. So if she doesn't have airtime and doesn't have data, so that means I'm going to be paying for all these things. So they think about it carefully, and they're like, nah, 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 nah. So they give up. So now I told you, time. This is another point. Time. I told you the people who can provide and the people who can give you really nice future as a girl, yeah? Because now, the guys are the ones supposed to be providing. So now some of these guys, because they have goals and they have careers, do you know what is going to happen? They'll be like, my time, Because now girls, as I told you, they want number one, time, and number two, care. Which care, I don't know. I've not yet realized what kind of care they're talking about. But now, time. So as a guy, they will think about it, and they're like, my time. Because you imagine, you're supposed to talk on phone for 30 minutes, for God's sake. Who talks on phone for 30 minutes? And if it's a long distance relationship, oh my goodness, it's what? Someone wants to talk 24 hours a day. And you're like, is this girl really working? Or think about it. So now they want time. So now we are talking, remember the kind of guys we are talking about. So now they will sit down and think about it. Now, they want you to call her, in the morning, then call in the evening, then call at night. Then, you're supposed, if you don't pick up, Again on weekends, maybe you have to go out, oh my goodness. So now this guy sits down and thinks about it carefully and is like, that time, I think I don't have that time. I think I don't have that time. So when they don't have that time, then they're like, no, 2026, guys, we rather stay single. That is one of the other reasons. So their time, which is very crucial, by the way, because time is money. So now you imagine you're on phone. Me, I have friends who talk on phone for like 2 hours. What is that you're talking on phone? 2 hours, really? So now that is one of the other reasons why. Let me get this one here. So that is one of the other reasons why guys decide to stay single. I'm still giving you, there are a couple of reasons that I'm going to be giving you. But as I told you initially, if you're a girl, these points that I'm giving you, try to change them. Try to change them. When you enter this relationship, number one, don't ask for money that fast. Don't be so fast at asking for money. No. Be like, no, I can take care of that. Because before this guy came in your life, yeah? Before this guy came in your life, now who was giving you the pedicure, the money? And now these things became expensive. Pedicure, manicure, this finger is 10,000. That's a meal, by the way. This is a whole meal. One finger is a whole meal, 10,000. Second finger, that is 20, 30, 40, 50, 100. Those are now only fingers. Now we go on toes. Then also, each one of them is 10. That is 200,000 for the toes and the fingers. So now guys think about it and they're like, no. And now because these girls want, as I told you, they want time and care. And at the end of the day, the time and care, those are the things we've talked about. That was point number one. So now as a girl, what you have to do to keep a man, because I said another TikTok video, and then the girl was saying, she was saying what? She was saying, I'm forgetting. Of course, the first one said, why is it that nowadays guys are not patient? When you tell him that, let me think about it, the guy doesn't come back. By the time you start showing signs, the guy moved on that fast. Because they also sat down, thought about it, and it really didn't make sense to be in a relationship. So the other reason why guys have decided to be single is because high expectations. So now these girls have high expectations from these guys. And now these girls try to act what we call high class. Very good. High class. So now because the girls portray that picture, because now this is how it is done with girls. The girls are like, act something until you become it, yeah? Act it until you become it. So now this is what the girls do. They want to portray themselves to be high class, yeah? In quotes. They portray themselves to be high class. So now even a potential guy who could even provide, looks at this woman, and then this woman is portraying, she's acting it until she becomes. And then this guy looks at this girl and is like, I think this is high-end girl, high-class girl. I don't think I can afford it, even given the fact when they could afford in real sense. But because the girls are pretending or they are acting it until they become it, the potential guys, wow, that was the word I was supposed to be using, potential guys. As I'm writing, by the way, I'm also taking notes as we are talking. I get points and then I write them down. So now a girl acts high class. After acting this high class, a potential guy comes into her life. But because the guy thinks this is a high class girl, do you know what happens? They go on a date once, twice. Maybe the guy gets whatever he wants to get, then sweet, he goes. Why? Because he feels he cannot afford that kind of a woman. You get the point? Because now the girls want to act high class so that they get the high class boys. You get the point? So now, even when a potential person comes through, a potential guy comes through, because they feel they cannot afford that kind of class that you need, then they disappear. So a girl stays there for the next 5 years and she's alone and is like, why is it that no guy is really telling me some? You get the point? Because you're acting high class. Now, the other point why men have decided to really stay alone, which is very, very important, by the way. They want to have their space. Space. I got to think about it myself. If we are here with Tyler, yeah, I'm always here with Tyler. We do what we want whenever we want to. And now someone else comes in, you're used of having your caps everywhere, your shoelaces everywhere, but now this person comes in your life and then they are questioning you. It's like they are having parents. Nice word. Guys don't want to have parents. They left their parents home to come and be independent. Now you come in their lives and you're acting like their fathers and mothers, and you're even, oh my goodness, you're giving them directions, telling them what to do. They don't want that. They did not vibe to get a parent. They wanted to get someone to support them. Good word. Support them. So now that's the reason. Some of the reasons why guys really have decided to stay single the year 2026. I told you as a girl, in case you want to keep a man, number one, everything that I talked about, everything, just make the opposite of it. Call him once in a while. He doesn't call, don't mind. He calls niceness. Don't again keep complaining. Why is it that you didn't call me? Why didn't it that you didn't pick out? Why? No, don't complain. Do vis-a-vis of everything that we talked about. Don't ask. Don't have very high expectations from this gentleman. If he has dreams and you can see that this guy has direction, then be patient. Patient. Some guys, why they don't want to date is because girls are not patient. That is why 2026 most of the guys want to stay single. Why? Because girls are not patient. Imagine you vibe her today and then next week she wants everything that life can offer. She wants it and she wants it all, and she's not patient. That's why most of these girls, immediately when this relationship starts, they would, first of all, I told you, they would tell you their birthday will be next month. Number two, she will get sick. And if she gets sick, for them, the way how you react when she has gotten sick, now that is care. Of course, they expect you to give them gifts, pay the hospital bills, which are not even there. She's not even sick, but she wants to see your reaction. So most of the potential guys are not willing to go into all this mess. Now you're sick, of course. Now I told you there's hospital bills. Then of course they have to take the juices, the good snacks, those fast foods, then the juice, and that is care. And you have to come with like lots and lots of those things. So now, again, you have to check on her. Remember, if you're a potential guy, you don't have much of this time. You're always busy, you're up and down. So now, a potential guy will move away. Me, if I'm to date someone, I ask them, how often do you get sick? I ask that question. It's an important question. How often do you get sick? There are those who are sicklers because they want, each time they get sick, they will know they will make, let me say like 500,000, They would make some, some money each time they get sick. So they make sure in a month they can fall sick like 3 times. So if it is 500,000, 500,000, per time when she gets sick, and she gets sick three times, and each time she gets sick, you send 500,000. So each 500,000, she has gotten sick 3 times in a month. That is 1.5. That is minus the Brazilian hair that we talked about, minus the outing. So a month, basically, a man to be in a relationship, they are basically spending over 3M. Okay, 3M is little, like 4M per month to be in a relationship. Oh my goodness. That is even more than the good apartments they can stay in, which they can pay for maybe 1M or 1.5. So now, guys have decided to be single 2026. Now, the other one, why guys have decided to be single, is what these girls expect from them. If he's if a person has a career and he has dreams, they will have a lot of, they are chasing their dream. So now you find him, maybe he's not driving. So a guy will be like, nah, I cannot date someone who is not driving. Point one down. You get point one down. I cannot date a guy. I cannot date a guy who is not driving. I cannot date a guy who doesn't stay in good apartments. I cannot date a guy who is not cool and goes out. I cannot date a guy who is always indoor. I cannot date a guy. And guess what? Whatever you are saying, the potential people are our parents. It is your father. And sometimes you could find that even their fathers don't have some of these things they expect you to do for them. And guess what? Their fathers can also give birth to you, because now you are dating this person. So but what she's expecting from you, even her father herself doesn't have them. So you get the point. So at the end of the day, much of all these reasons are some of the reasons why guys have decided not to date, not to be in a relationship. But surprisingly, these guys have sex. How? Now, let me tell you, just like how I told you yesterday, that research was made, and they noticed that single men and single women have more sex more than the married people. So now, they would rather have the one night stand and no costs involved. If you can think about it, if it's business, that is good business. They can slip around, but they don't have you as a date. Because if you're not dating someone, then they don't have to give you time. Then, of course, they don't have to give you, give you a lot of money. Of course, you don't have to ask questions. Yeah, where are you from? Why is it that you did this? You're not supposed to do this. No. You cannot have an argument with them because you're not dating. That's why some of the girls end up asking these boys, and they're like, what is it? Are we doing? Are we dating? Are we just friends? What is it that we are doing? Because sometimes even girls don't understand. But the guy just doesn't want to tell you that we should date. Because immediately when he says, let's date, all these things that I've talked about are going to come into existence. Now, you're going to become this girl's mother and father. It's like you've adopted a daughter or a son. Everything is supposed to be coming in from you. If she is renting, and she's been renting for the last 5 years, now it is going to be you to pay that rent. You get the point? And then you ask yourself, initially when this man wasn't in the picture, then who was paying the rent? Where was the money coming in from? So now, all these reasons I've given you, just like how we did it in our poster, you call it the thumbnail, why men love being single in 2026. This is the truth. Are you getting what I'm saying? So girls, pay attention. I told you this video is for you. And thanks for the people who watch these videos when they are done. Thank you very much. Thank you for the people who watch the videos when they are done. You make it very lovely. So, on the other hand, everything that I've talked about, as a girl, try to change everything. Don't argue, don't complain, don't create chaos, and don't have fights. Let the guy be. Give a guy no reason for him to tell you we're done, or he starts acting weird. Because at the end of the day, there won't be any reason why he will let you go. You don't give him a reason. But now girls give a reason to, you cannot, the girl, I make this, you cannot tell a girl today, can we date? Can we go for a date? You tell her today, and the next day she's telling you she doesn't have data and she doesn't have airtime, and she's going to visit her sisters and brothers at a given school. They are having a visitation day. Really? As a man, a potential man, will not go into that. I'm telling you. He'll just calculate and be like, no, you see now this girl is so broke. Now, the other reason why guys don't want to date, yeah? In 2026, the girls are so broke. Girls too broke. They cannot provide anything for themselves. So that's why some of the guys don't want to date in 2026. 2026, most of the men prefer being single than dating. Why? Because these girls are so broke. They are like orphans. Orphans, yeah? They are like orphans. Everything is supposed to be coming from a man. And sometimes, oh my goodness, that is really bad. So, everything that I've talked about, if you want to keep a man, make the opposite of everything. Make the opposite of everything. Make sure if you watch this video when it is done, yeah, listen point to point and make vis-a-vis. Make the opposite. And let me tell you, you'll date a guy. That's why nowadays guys prefer dating girls who are working class. Yeah, they call it working class. They're like, I prefer a girl who's a working class, The one, they support each other. And in the Western world, they are doing what we call 50-50. Yeah, they do 50-50. I bring this, you bring that. I bring this, you bring that. 50-50. It is not a one man's army. No. So you have to be very, very, very careful. Very careful. That's why most of the guys right now don't want to date. That's why most of the girls now, most of the guys are no longer patient. They are not patient. Because you cannot tell him you're going to think about it, yeah? And then you're giving. Remember, this guy, remember I told you, the person we are talking about, the guy we are talking about is a guy who has potential, by the way, to even provide for you. But now, if you're thinking about it, the guys are so busy, yeah? They are busy chasing their dreams. So, you're thinking about it, then, they will move on very fast. Very, very fast. And if you bring all this chaos, the guys will prefer to be alone and not to be in any relationship. Have you got me? Have you got me? That is very important. So you have to be very careful. Very, very careful, when you want. That's why, by the way, by the way, the rate of people who get married and who come out of marriage is getting so high because of these reasons we've talked about. Because of all these reasons we've talked about. So guys are not willing to really handle all these things. They are not willing. Because let's look at it this way, yeah? You imagine it's one man, yeah? He's having one job. In Uganda, most of the people have one jobs. They don't do two jobs like in the rest of, because for us we work per month. We don't work per hour. So because we work per month, the guy is having one job. Yeah, one job. And then in this one job, he's supposed to pay, underline the following, he's supposed to pay his rent, water bills, electricity bills, transportation, food, then at the end of the day, send you airtime, and then send you data, and then take you out, and then do the pedicure, the manicure, and then the weaves and the wigs, and then, the surprises, and then the gifts, and then he's doing one job. How is that even possible? That's why I saw one girl ask herself, and she was saying, but how do guys do it? They do one job, and then they can facilitate, he has to take care of his parents, his young ones, and then take care of you, and then your young ones, but he's having one job. How is that even possible? One of the girls was asking. And it's like, how do guys really do it? So now, that's why the year 2026, the guys prefer being single. And now, because of the social media, when it comes to the real way of getting married, yeah, the girls now want a lot of things. A guy would be even able to get into marriage, by the way, like now getting now into real marriage. Yeah, maybe now we've left why they are single, but now the guy would fail to go into marriage because of the whole procedure of how this marriage is. That you go, you do the kuchala, that is expenditure, and because of social media, these girls want you to do it like you're doing a wedding, and so huge and so expensive. Again, that is kuchala. Then there is kwanjula, whatever you call it, kuhinzira, whatever you can call it. And now you have to again spend too much, and then the wedding you spend too much. I've seen someone sell their houses for just some of those events. So now the guys sit down, and then because they are the potential people who can get even married, and they can support the lady, but now they look at this, and then if it's a business, they would not let that would be bad business. Why? Because the expenditure is so much than the income. What they get out, and they are having their dreams, and then they do the weighing, they are like, no, this is not good business. So that's why some of the guys still again stay single. These reasons are so many. There are so many. And just in case for the people watching immediately after these lives are done, you can also add some of the reasons why are you deciding to stay single. And the other thing why people are staying single is because now this generation of girls has really changed. The generation of girls has really changed. Now girls cheat. Them days as we were growing up, it was the boys who cheat. Now the girls cheat like nothing. You cannot have her one because she has a lot of needs and wants. So one guy cannot really facilitate her. So now she has to get guy A, B, C, Abdul, then Andrew, then Okello, then Che. That is a Chinese, yeah. So the guys are like, no, I don't want to be in all this mess. So they decide to be single. And by the way, those ones I'm telling you decide to be single, those are the potential guys. Because they want this to be like business. So is it bad business or good business? So if it's bad business, they would not get involved. Why men love being single in 2026, the truth. I'm a guy and I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you facts. So, with all those things I've told you, it is up to you. As a girl, as a guy. But, for a guy who has, he's doing okay. Yeah, some of those things. I have a sister, she told me that, Anderson, you're saying those things because you're broke. Yeah. That is true. Yeah. Because someone who got the money, they wouldn't care. But now, let me tell you. Out of the population, yeah, now I'm telling you as per the whole world, we have 100, out of 100%. This is 100%, yeah? Out of this 100%, 40% don't want to get married. They don't want to get married, yeah? Now you're looking for a partner, yeah? 40% they don't want to get married. Now we've remained with 60. Out of this 60%, 40% are broke. You get, now we are looking for the right partner you're going to settle with as a girl, yeah? This 40 doesn't want to get married. These 40 are broke. Now we've remained with 20. Out of this 20, 5%, 50% out of this 20 now which has remained, yeah? 20%. Now let's take 5% of that. They are gay, yeah? So if they are gay, now we've remained with 15%. Out of the 15%, the 10% are married, yeah? Out of those ones, so we've remained with 5%. The 5% we've remained with are the potential people who could get married and they have everything. And out of those 5%, remember, the whole junk of 100% of the women are there. You get the point. You get the point. Because now, if you ask any girl the kind of a person they would love to settle down with, yeah? They want to settle down with a guy who is, he has a job, a good job. He has a car. Maybe he has his own home. And then he doesn't have any kids, That's what all the girls will tell you. So now, how are you going to share the 5%? Are you getting my point? So at the end of the day, remember, I've given you now the reasons why also this 5% wouldn't want to settle down. You get the point. These are crucial things. These are the things that concern our lives. So you have to sit down and think about it very carefully. Like, really, can I go into that relationship? Guys, think about it. Me, I thought about it, and I'm one of those guys who are like, nah, 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 no, no dating. No dating. Ah, I'm always home 24/7. Now, this individual comes in and we are supposed to divide time. I have to divide time between Tyler, me, and then her. Then each time I'm supposed to call her. Again, we are supposed to be going out. I don't move out. I don't move at all. So now I have to go out of my way to start moving. It doesn't make sense, yeah? It doesn't make sense. Steven Businje, abusing Steven. What is that? Of course, Bon Vegas. Bon Vegas is saying, bro, Obuze, we miss your content. Yeah, I'm always here. I'm always here and I do this, Bon Vegas. I'm always here, by the way, Bon Vegas. I've just started. I was out for 7 years, but now I'm here. I'm now here every day at night from around 8 or 10 till late. Yeah, we work like for an hour. I'm always here, by the way, at night. Even during days, sometimes I'm always on this platform. 7 days, 7 years, I wasn't doing anything because I was supporting my brother Bobby Wine. I was pushing that. And then I didn't understand what Stephen Businje you said down there. You said abusing Stephen. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand. Businje, yeah, you wanted to write your name, Businje Steven, and then you wrote abusing Steven. Yeah, I'm always here, by the way, every day at night. Every day at night, at around this time, I'm always here. I start off between 8 to 10 there, yeah. Then I've already started. Then during day, I'm always also there. Sometimes we do lives still again. Yeah, I'm always here, and I'm also on TikTok. That's my TikTok. This one here. Yeah, here, down. Yeah, this is my TikTok, this is my WhatsApp, and then this is the channel that we are on, BCM. So we are always here. We come here and chat. So we are starting afresh. We left politics for some reasons, yeah, but all the same. So now, as we are still continuing, let me tell you this. I've given you, of course, the reasons why guys in 2026 don't want to date. And of course, we started off with number one. Number one, we say the expenditure. Yeah, the expenditure is too high with the pedicure, the manicure, the pedicure, manicure, the Brazilian weave, and then the wigs, and then all those stuff. Men are not willing. Yeah, and then of course their mental health. These women are complaining, arguing, having chaos, and then fighting. Then, of course, these girls are playing hard to get. They want to take them for dates like 10 times before they can say yes or no. Then, of course, the men don't have that time. We don't have that. For a girl to say yes. That's why the other girl was saying that. Why is it that now, guys, when you tell them, let me think about it, the next day you come back and you're showing that you're interested, and then the guy is no longer interested. He's left. And you're like, what's up with guys? Now they are no longer patient. Of course, the other thing I was talking about, the girls are trying to put themselves into this high class that they are not into. They are not that high class, but they want to show like they are high class, but again, they are not high class. So the guy who is potential, yeah, he backs out because it doesn't make business. Why? Because the expenditure will be more than the income. So the guys will decide to be single for the year 2026. And of course, guys like their independence. They don't want someone who is going to be all over them. Why did you call? Don't call me. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Oh my goodness. The guys want their independence, their mental health. And of course, what I was telling you, the girls are too, of course, they're not patient. When she comes in, she's having you try to tell her to date today. The next day she's telling you, I am sick, my birthday is next week, my aunt is also sick. Oh my goodness. So all those reasons combined together, the guys in the year 2026 have decided they don't want to date, and those are the potential men. Remember, as I told you, if you ask any girl which kind of a man they want to get married to, they want a guy who has a steady job, number one. Number two, maybe educated. Number three, maybe they are tall. Number four, maybe they have their own houses. Number five, maybe they have their own car. Number six, these guys don't have kids. And I told you, that's the kind of a guy all girls would love. But again, remember, out of the 100% of the men who are there, of course, I told you the 40 are broke. Then again, the 20, they are young. Then maybe the 20, the 10, maybe they are gay. Maybe the other one. So at the end of the percentage of the men who are potential, again, they remain as 5. But again, the women are still there as 100%. So at the end of the day, the guys, they are 20, 26. They don't want to get into relationship. But remember, as I told you, research came out and discovered that single men have more sex than the married men. How is that even possible? Single men and single women have more sex more than the married people. So now if a guy can really weigh it out and is like to get into a relationship and have all these expenditures, or just chilling and get still the advantages of being in courtship. So at the end of the day, when they weigh, guys have decided, no, 2026 we are not dating. So now the girls are there, and most of them are acting classy, and most of the people are like, I think I cannot handle. Yeah, I did that. I've recorded that for my people on TikTok. We're going to be putting it on TikTok, and the entire video, by the way, is here. You can go on YouTube, BCM Uganda. It is verified with a blue tick. It is having over 205,000 people. Yeah, so for the guys on TikTok, I think you can come there and then you watch the entire video. Of course, it is over an hour. Yeah, it is over an hour. So you guys, you can come and watch it there. So I've stopped. I was recording that for our people, of course, who are on TikTok. So we are always here, just like how I told you. We are always here. We talk about different things. But everything that I've talked about, I'm telling you, everything that I've talked about, in case you want to settle down with a man, maybe at some point even get married, the thing you're supposed to do is very simple. Whatever I talked about, just do the reverse. The reverse. But again, the girls also nowadays are so strong. I don't know if that's the word I'm supposed to use. They want to be the bosses. They want to be the dominants. And no guy wants to be taken lightly. They don't want to be. It is supposed to be the men who are supposed to be dominant. And the women now don't want to be submissive. That's the word. They don't want to be submissive. They also want to be as equal as men. I hear they always say that what a man can do, a woman can do better. So now, all those put together, let me tell you, your daughters are going to stay home, and then your parents will have to incur your rent, because some of these parents even go into hiding to pay their daughters rent outside there, because they feel they'll be ashamed for their daughters to be still staying in the same houses with their parents. So not until girls work on all these, and social media has really fucked them up so much that most of the girls, even right now, their IQ is really so low. They don't think. They don't think really. I was going to say a bad word, but I'm like, no, I should not use it. Most of them don't think straight. So all those reasons combined together, that is the reason why the year 2026, men who are potential to raise a family and take care of you, those are the guys, by the way, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the guys who have a lot of time. The guys who have a lot of time will get married any day. Why? Because being unsure of sex is the only thing that would make them happy. So because there is nothing and they don't have dreams, so that's the only happiness they would get, and they would have a right to it because now they are married or because they are staying with this girl. So those ones, I'm not talking about those ones. Those ones have a lot of time. That's why they can talk on phones for 2 and 3 hours. 3 hours talking to someone. What is that you're telling them? Yeah. So those ones have a lot of time. And I wasn't talking about those ones. I was talking about the potential guys. The potential guys are calculative. They are intentional. It's like they are doing business. They will sit down and see, will the expenditure be more than the income? If the expenditure is more than the income, that is bad business. They would not get involved. They would not get involved. That would be bad business. So they would not get involved. They would be like, no, if I'm chasing my career, if I'm chasing my goals, this is not making sense. So what they do is back out. They don't get involved. They don't get involved. Yeah. So it's been really nice to have you guys. I'm always here at night. Yeah, at night, every day, every day, every day. I'm always here. Make sure, okay, I try my level best at least to be here. And I'm sorry because we use English. It is intentional that we use English because now we've gotten some friends of ours in Nigeria. We've got from Zimbabwe. Then we got some other people. So, and that is the kind of crowd that we want. Yeah, we don't want only Luganda speaking people. We want all other people to be understanding what we are saying. So that's why we are using English. Yeah, that's why we are using English. And I will not, there is no person who can come on social media and be here and they cannot understand English. Everyone understands English. Yeah, so we want to have lots of other friends also join and they can understand the conversation. Yep, so that is it. Let me see, let me see, let me see. I was on TikTok, yeah? Let me go here on TikTok. Uh-huh. Now a guy will look at this kind of a girl, yeah? Let me bring you this girl. This is what we started with, yeah? They will see this kind of a girl and the guy will be like, will I manage this one really? Will I manage this one? Look at her. So the guy will, I think this one is expensive. Do you know what they will do? They will just run away. By the way, I'm on TikTok directly, yeah? I'm on TikTok directly. Let me just keep scrolling. 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 Yeah. Now there is also another one here. Now, most of the girls, social media is also failing you, by the way. Now, you see this person here? She's, I don't know how old she is, but I'm very sure she's past her 30s. And then, someone seeing her, doing this. Then they they are like, she's on social media. There are some guys like me. I cannot really settle down with a social media girl who comes on social media and then starts dancing funny, funny things. By the time she's there, she's like selling something, yeah? She's like selling something. By the time she's doing that, how is her inbox? Trust me, lots of guys are in her inbox. So me with that, I feel competition. I feel like no, I cannot compete. There is also another one here. You see, still that one there on social media. Still again, I can't compete. Now these ones are starting slowly by slowly. Another one is there. Huh? Oh la la. You see that? Another one is also there. As long as I see that, I'm telling you, I cannot date such kind of a person. Then I go, those ones are now the ones that I'm telling you that guys are having as a sure. A guy will be like, this one is a sure. So instead of going into a relationship, yeah, and then spending, they will go for that, like that one, and they know that's a sure. Fine, they're advertising for business, but really now that, nah, I wouldn't. If you're a guy, I wouldn't even advise you. That one there, by the time she's doing that on social media for everyone to see, nah. Now another one is there. I know this one here. Let's just skip. Another one is also there. You see? So this is the generation because of social media. Yeah, because of social media. I cannot date that one. Now you see these other ones here. So social media has also been one of those reasons. There's girls, seriously, I cannot. Because of what they do on social media, because what you do on social media, I told you guys that what you are, yeah, you are what you are because of what you watch, yeah, what you watch and what you listen to and the kind of people that you hang out with, yeah. So the kind of people that you hang out with, you end up becoming like them. So by the time such is being done, nah. You see, another one is there. I cannot also that one there. I cannot. If it's me, I'm saying if it's me, I can't. By the time she's doing that, do you know how many people are in her inbox? Do you know how many people are in her inbox? I'm telling you, a billion of people are in there. And then, as I told you, girls will not settle for less. As long as there is someone better, they will always, they will try. They will try to get the best option. Yeah. So like this one here, nah, I can't. I can't. Yeah. I can't. 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 Yeah, we're just going through a little bit. We're just going through a little bit. A little bit. A little bit. We're just going. By the way, I'm just going through my social media. Another one is there. Wow, 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 wow. But that one is okay. Now, such, girls come on socials and then, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like girls are supposed to be private. There's nothing as beautiful. If you wake up early in the morning and then you get a girl who's not on social media, oh my goodness, I'm telling you something. She doesn't party and she doesn't go and she's not on social media. I'm telling you, that's a jewelry. That's a jewelry. That one you just have to keep, yeah? That one you just have to keep. That one you just have to keep. If she's not like, okay, now that could be a music video. Okay, okay, okay. Uh-huh. Now this is what the girls want, yeah? Guys, I'm going to be calling this a wrap, yeah? I'm going to be calling this a wrap. It's been really very beautiful having you. A couple of minutes now going to be entering the other hour. I don't want us to go past midnight. Yeah, I don't want us to go past midnight. You see them there? You see them there? All right. You see, social media has really done us more harm than good. So, guys, until when we catch up, yeah. I know. Most of the people would stand there and they're like, yeah. They like seeing such, yeah. But yeah, that is it. Those are some of the reasons, by the way, why men really they don't want to date right now. They want to stay single for the year 2026. I've given you some of the reasons. Until when we catch up, it's been Jose Anderson. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are catching me from. It's been very beautiful. If you feel like the video was good, you can go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button so that each time I come to your